All right, we're good.
Waiting room. Hamıya salam. Artıq yavaş-yavaş başlayaq bugünkü təlimimizə. Təlimin mövzusu dropshippingdir. Muhammed indi soruşmuşdu ki, kimsə dropshipping eləyib bundan əvvəl ya yox. Mənə elə gəlir ki, bəlkə əksəriyyət burada iştirak edənlər, yəni bununla tanış deyirlər. Yəni kimsə nəsə əlavə eləmək istəsə, buyurun deyə cavab verə bilərsiniz. Yəni bugün sonuncu təlimimizdir. Sonuncu bu AzExportla bir yerdə e-commerce sahəsində keçirdiyimiz sonuncu təlimimizdir. Bundan sonra Ayxan bəy də qoşuldu bizə. Bundan sonra biz logistika barədə webinar keçirməyə planlaşdırırıq. Məlumat üçün bildirim. Yəni daha ətraflı məlumat AzExport tərəfindən çox güman ki veriləcək, elan da olunacaq. Bugünkü təlimimiz, yəni deyirəm, dropshipping barədədir. Həmişə olduğu kimi təqdimatçımız Muhammed Əstiq, təlim ITC, International Trade Center və AzExportla bir yerdə təşkil olunub. Sözü verək Muhammed bəy. Yenə də kimin sualı olsa, buyurun, chatda da verə bilərsiniz. Burada təlimin sonunda sual-cavab sessiyası olacaq. Orada da verə bilərsiniz və təlim vaxtı hətta burada raise your hand, yəni əlini qaldır belə bir knopkası var. Yəni kimsə hətta nəsə aydın deyilsə, chatda sual verdiniz, gördünüz, bəlkə görmədiyi cavab verilmir. Orada əlinizi qaldırıb və özünüzü unmute eləyib özünüz də sual verə bilərsiniz. Yenə də deyirəm, Azərbaycanca da verə bilərsiniz sualı. Lazım olsa mən kömək eləyərəm. Belə sözü vereyim Muhammed bəyə. Muhammed, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Eldar. I don't know if Ayxan Bey wants to say a few words or if I start straight away.
Ayxan Bey. So he may want to say a few words in the end.
Okay, let's kick off.
Okay.
So same as usual, please, Eldar, if any new participant come in, if you can allow them in. Thank you, Eldar, for the introduction. Thank you, all of you, for many of you being again here, spending time to listen to what we have to share with you. And today theme is a little bit, at least for me, is a strange theme for e-commerce, and you will understand why along the presentation. So dropshipping as a, let's call it a way of selling online, has some interesting aspects, and at the same time it has some limits. And I know that from the demand and from what I see online, a lot of people consider that when they do dropshipping, they're doing e-commerce, and it's often a first experience with e-commerce. So I'll explain why and how it works. And we have kind of a long agenda, but it will not be long in time, because I want to see with you the many points that I would like to touch upon, so that you actually really understand what is dropshipping and how you can leverage dropshipping in the right way as a small and medium enterprise from Azerbaijan. So in the first point, we will go through the definition, the general definition of what is dropshipping. And then we will see the concept that lies behind dropshipping, that often lies behind dropshipping, which is called arbitrage. I will explain what it is. And then I will present to you some risks and some limitations that you need to be aware of when you're starting or when you're doing dropshipping e-commerce. And then, of course, after highlighting these risks and so on, I will still present to you why and how it can make some money, why and how it can generate some income. And I will present to you in more details some basic rules, or I call them the universal laws of commerce, and then the specific opportunity that arises with dropshipping, which is called the arbitrage opportunity window. And I say window because you will see it has a time expiry date, and it's a window of opportunity. The third point, we will see together what makes or breaks dropshipping, and that's the cost control. Already in normal e-commerce, the costs are a very important point, but in dropshipping, because of the nature of the transaction, cost control is even more critical. So we will cover together the cost of the goods, the shipping and the returns, the cost of marketing that you need to take into consideration, the cost of payments, and the taxes and duties that you will need to cover as a dropshipper. And then finally, on the point 4, I will present to you a few ways of deploying dropshipping, or a few ways of doing dropshipping. And you can do it with a website if you have one, but you can also do it without a website, or you can use marketplaces, from marketplace to marketplace even. So I'll present those 3 different ways of doing or deploying dropshipping. And then I will introduce you to some personal experiences that I do myself with the dropshipping, which is the on-demand printing, or print on demand. I present to you a few websites that I did and how it can evolve. And then there is the model of 3D printing, where you're actually more of a 3D object product designer. And then I think there is one nice evolution that I'm myself trying right now, which is negotiating a white label production contract with a producer, and then adding to it fulfillment. And it acts like a vitamin or dropshipping with a Red Bull, with some turbo boost. And finally, we will see together the good practices and how you can make and take advantage, make some money maybe, but more importantly, how you can plug or use dropshipping in a larger picture of online commerce. So let's dive in, and of course, questions and answers will be more than welcome to be provided. And don't be shy, especially that I introduced to you a more of an experimental, personal way. And also I'll share with you some concepts that are already known in the industry. So definition. The definition here, I took it from BigCommerce. I think it's explicit and complete enough. So BigCommerce is an e-commerce solution provider, and themselves they have modules to plug dropshipping supplier to your website, so that you can resell the dropshipping supplier's products. And they say that dropshipping is an order fulfillment method that does not require a business to keep products in stock. So it means that you do not need to buy any product before starting dropshipping. You can sell mattresses, you can sell a car, you can sell even houses or some other products less or more expensive. And the idea is that you do not buy them in advance, you do not stock them, you do not own them legally speaking. And instead, your store, the store, sells the product and passes on the sale order to a third-party supplier or manufacturer, who then ships the order to the customer. So meaning that you're not involved in the production line, you're not involved in the supply chain, except at the very end when you collect the payment from your buyer. So the flow is like this. The customer will find the product on your store, and once you don't have the product, once you get the sale and you got the money from the customer, you yourself on point 2, you're going to order from the supplier, and you're asking, or your website will be automatically asking to the supplier, telling him, can you ship this item to John to this address? And then the supplier in point 3 is going to deliver to the customer that product, and could hide his own brand or her own brand and put yours, or could just send some generic packaging so that you can keep your supplier private, as a private information. So technically, you do not own what you sell until you actually sell it. So this is the main advantage, is that you don't have to come up with a budget to buy the inventory before starting the business. You can start the business and the promotion, and then as you go, as you sell, you're acquiring those goods. Sometimes you're officially buying the product just 1 second after your buyer buys it from you. So this is a little bit the idea of dropshipping. I put for you the source if you want to learn more, and especially BigCommerce, they have some nice advices on the limits and the advantages, or how to use dropshipping. Now, what is the concept of arbitrage? And arbitrage is kind of a built-in concept inside dropshipping, because you technically dropshipping, you could take any catalog from any supplier and list them on your website. So you could, for example, Google white label or dropshipping producers, companies or marketplace, and then you can find 100 suppliers, and they will all send you or let you connect to their catalog. So technically you could create a website or a marketplace with thousands and thousands of products that you do not need to buy in advance. But now the secret or the thing that makes sales is not to list just any product. The idea of arbitrage is that you identify a product somewhere that is cheaper than somewhere else where nobody is selling, or they're selling more expensive. And then this is the arbitrage. It's like you make a decision that says that, you see, this specific item, which I personally was selling, I think I sold probably 30 units of this particular lamp, because at that time I found it on Amazon cheaper than on eBay. And then I used a software that I will show you later, an arbitrage software, to create this copy, actually to copy and paste this product listing from Amazon to my eBay store. And then when people buy on eBay, it will order from Amazon, and it's actually Amazon that ships for me directly to the buyer, and they wrap it in a gift bag so that they don't know that it's actually coming from Amazon, or they don't see the invoice at least. And this was working, and I will introduce to you some results. So this is arbitrage, identifying something that is available somewhere at a higher price than in another marketplace, or on your website you can set it higher. So this is arbitrage. Now, as much as dropshipping is interesting and attractive, there are a few things that you need to take into consideration in terms of risks and limitations. The first one is that you, as the seller, you're responsible for everything. So even if you're not the one producing the product, you're not the one that chose the material and chose, for example, some forbidden plastic or whatever, even if it's not you, and you relied on the manufacturer description, from the law perspective, you're responsible because you're cashing in the money of the client and you're making the sale contract with the consumer. So if there is a problem with hygiene, with dangerous goods, or with fake products, if you're selling some bags and they're actually a copy of Louis Vuitton, so you will be the one responsible, not the manufacturer that has copied the trademark or other things. So that's what you need to know in advance. Be careful on what you want to sell or resell as a dropshipping, because ultimately you're going to be the responsible person. You're also responsible for shipping delays, for broken items, for anything that the customer may complain, even if actually the item was broken at the factory. So it's a supplier problem, but initially it will be your problem with the customer, and then you have to fight and get compensation from the supplier. So again, you're responsible for everything. That's the point one I wanted to share with you. And then, because just almost anybody, and not anybody, but much more people can do dropshipping because you don't need to come up with money. So what I noticed is that there are actually a lot of teenagers who are doing dropshipping because they know how to use the computer. They spend time searching left and right nice products, and they do dropshipping, and then they use their father name or their mother name to legally do the business. So some of them, they're barely in the 20s, and actually some dropshippers are also in the 60s and 50s, and they have time and interest in doing so. So it's really a very broad a very broad competition market, because a lot of people are attracted or can do it, especially when you don't have to push in money in advance. Now, as a result, you have point 3 is that more competition means lower and lower margins, because you need to reduce your prices because somebody else noticed that that item I showed you on Amazon that was selling on eBay, somebody also noticed that there was still a margin to do, and they are selling now 20 cents cheaper than me, and then 50 cents cheaper than me, and then $1 cheaper than me, and then you know how it goes. Red blood marketing, or red blood ocean, as they call it in the marketing science. And then the 4th point, which adds up to this margin competition that we have, is that if there is a return, then it kills a lot of sales profit. So in dropshipping, the returns are even more costly than in normal e-commerce when you own the product. That's simply because you have much less margins, more competition, and you're driving your costs down, and your marketing costs go up, but your profit is like at the limit of compensating your cost of goods. So if you have a return with dropshipping, it may kill the profit of 10 sales. That's how much it is heavy for the loss. And then we don't notice, but when we do dropshipping, at the beginning it is very fun, it's very nice, and then slowly we don't realize, but we spend a lot of time. So it's really resource consuming. As much as it's entertaining and interesting, it takes a lot of time. So you have to factor how much your time is worth. And the 6th point is that because you're playing around with different products at different moments, and then you're changing products, and it's not your own brand most of the time, so you don't have the chance to build up a brand which will then give you a justification for a higher margin or a higher price perception from your buyers. And the 7th point, which is natural, because you don't buy and you don't produce the products, I mean, you don't buy them in advance, you don't have so much control of the supply chain. Meaning that if the supplier runs out of stock, you cannot book stock unless you pay for it. So you're at the mercy of whatever inventory trend there is with the supplier, and they cannot guarantee you the availability of the stock. So if you did marketing and you spent money in marketing for selling 100 units, and actually by the time your marketing starts to have effect, the supplier has sold all his stock, then you have nothing to do basically. You have to wait for the next batch of production. So this is what I mean by point 7. You don't have so much or almost no control on the supply chain or production chain. So that said, of course, this is not to scare you away. This is just things that you need to really pay attention to, so that you can enjoy some benefits out of dropshipping and some profit even. So now let's look at the next points on why and how dropshipping actually can make money. And the thing is that I think before you can do dropshipping, you need to, or even before you do e-commerce in general, you first need to understand the normal the way that commerce works. So I call it the commerce universal added value laws. So the #1 law that I think is always valid, whatever business you do, is that ultimately what you're selling to your buyer is time and space, or both. Either or both. What I mean by time and space, because we human, we value time and we value space. And for instance, if you're in Baku and you have whatever product, let's say you have, I don't know, honey, nice Azeri honey, natural, organic, from the mountains and so on, and potential customer is in Brazil, then your product, what you have, is basically 30 days away from the customer. If he buys it now, probably if you ship it by post, Azeri post, or if you ship it by sea, it will take 30 days or more. So it is a certain distance of time from the buyer. And also it is a certain distance, physical distance, like geographical distance from the buyer, because there is probably like 12,000 miles or 4,000 miles if they are in Europe, Western Europe or in London. So you have this distance in time and distance in space between your offer and the customer. And this is commerce. Whatever you, even services that you produce, for example, what I mean by that is that anything that you want to sell, the buyer could make it himself or herself. So we are, as a seller, we're always like competing with the possibility that the buyer can source it himself or even make it himself or herself. That's the true situation in the world of commerce. So for example, if it's too much time too long for the customer, or if the customer doesn't want to pay for my price, then he will have to wait, or he will have to take the time to build or to make this product or this service him or herself. So that's how he can bring down the costs, if he has to waste his own time or spend his own time. Likewise, the customer, if he doesn't want to pay for the added value or the added price because of the distance that we shorten for him or for her, then they need to travel. They need to come to us in Azerbaijan, to come to your factory and get the goods from there. So they need to travel the distance. They need to shorten the distance, or they have to make it locally. So if they're in Brazil, then they have to import the raw material and then make it locally, so that they don't have to suffer the distance, but then they suffer the cost. So this is the law of commerce. It works with any product, with almost any service. What we are offering to our buyers is saving time for them, or saving space, or saving both. So if you're selling, for example, even a service like translation services or graphic design services, actually, if the buyer takes time, he can learn about graphic design, or she can learn about graphic design. If the buyer can take time, they can learn Spanish, they can learn English, and then they can translate themselves. So anything, product, service, download, it's actually at the end saving time and saving space that will motivate somebody to pay a higher price than doing it themselves or taking the time for it or the space. So this is really the fabric, I think, that is behind commerce. Now, what happens for us is that we need to respond to what buyer wants, because those buyers who are going to travel to Azerbaijan or going to wait or going to do it themselves, they're not going to give us a price that will make us a profit or a good margin, because they are going to shorten those distances and time themselves. But these buyers who wants it, they want it right now. They want it right here. They don't want to move. They don't want to wait. This is the human. I mean, even you guys, when you want to buy a new phone, be it a Apple iPhone or a Samsung or whatever, once you decide to buy a phone, how much can you wait? And if you notice yourself, you're ready to take your car or take a taxi and go to a shop which is maybe outside of Baku, so that you can get it faster. Even if you pay 10%, you're paying 10% more in the price, plus you're taking 2 or 3 hours, but what you want is you want your phone right now, right here. So this is the natural instinct of humans in terms of for the buying process. And for us as sellers, for you as an entrepreneur, you need to understand this psychology of the buyer and then respond to it. So how do you respond to it is this is actually how value is created, how price perception is increased so that you can get a better price. It's almost a mathematical universal way. The more you save time and the more you save space for your customer, the more you actually create value for him or for her. So when I'm proposing something online or even in commerce, normal commerce, I'm always, my value is that I save time and save space for my buyer. So I try to bring it as near as possible to the right now, right here. And then there's an additional, so it's the same mathematical rule in terms of value addition. But if you plug a brand, it's like you're lifting up your profit a little bit, because those balloons, which is my metaphorical way of showing you that how the brand can impact your added value coefficient, is that by building a brand, by branding your products, you're creating more trust. You're giving an impression and a reality of a better quality. You're proposing, you're risking your brand, so you have to, so it offers guarantees. It offers, you have something to lose if you cheat a customer. So this all builds up another an additional layer, or it accelerates your profit creation, your added value creation. So this is the law of commerce. You need to, I think you need to understand this before even doing e-commerce or anything else. So this is rule number one. If you can save time and you can save space for your buyer, you can ask for more money than what he would have. You can ask for more money than what it would have costed him if he had to do it himself and took the time and space to do it himself. That's the basic. Then there is a second rule, which you also know very well. It's the rule of, I call it the volume. So when you buy this medicine at a pharmacy in Baku, when you buy it as a consumer, maybe you can get it for, let's say, 20 manats. Now, even as a consumer, if you come to a certain pharmacy or supplier to a pharmacy or a parapharmacy supplier, and now you tell him, look, I actually consume this on a regular basis with my family. I want to buy a carton. Now you become a big retail buyer, a big B2C buyer. So you may save 20%, 15% from the consumer price. Maybe even you can save 30%. So when you move from the volume of 1 unit, which is the normal consumption of a given product, for example, by a consumer, when you move to the next packaging, which is, this is what we've seen in our e-logistics webinar, when you buy the product inside its secondary packaging, a box of 20, then you can benefit already from a discount. So you can see here that the relationship for creating your profit margin is the more you climb in volume, the more you get discount on the retail price. This is simple law. It always works. It even works when you buy and sell sweets. So this is also the basic rule, unfortunately, even for those who sell drugs, like illegal drugs. They buy in bulk and then they split it and then they sell cocaine with 1 gram. And that's how they make so much money. So it works the same with carpets. It works the same with nuts, with pomegranate, with basically anything. And then you can, once you move to the next level, which is the wholesaler level, and you buy a pallet, then you start to even make more margin. Probably you can reach 50%, you can get a 50% discount on the retail price, maybe even more. And then you can climb up to the distributor level, which is you buy a whole container, more than 1 container, or you sign a contract for buying 1 container per month or whatever. You can even get exclusive distributor rights. And when you get that, basically you get protection in that market, and you get the like green card to put whatever retail price you want in that market if you are now the exclusive distributor. So you see, it's really these simple laws that you go in volume up, you go up in volumes, you're going to go up in reducing your purchasing costs. So these 2 rules, time and space and volume, is going to set in motion your business. And I was talking about products and services, so it's the same. For example, even myself, I was reselling some licenses of a software. So if I can commit for, let's say, buying 100 of licenses per month, then I get a better price, even if it's virtual, it's a service or it's a software. So it works the same for products and services. And now we move to the next point, which is about dropshipping value, a specific thing for dropshipping that can create value. It's a situation, actually. We call it the dropshipping arbitrage or arbitrage opportunity window. And like I said before, it's a window because it doesn't last. And why it doesn't last, usually doesn't last so long, is because it's a special situation where the demand is more heavy, is there is more demand than supply. So when you have more demand than supply, you can actually quickly jump in and gap and provide your offer to reduce that gap, because people are asking for it and there is not enough sellers. So they can pay 10% more, 20% more, 30% more if you put it in front of them. So this is like harder to find, but there are these opportunities. If you browse the internet, if you go on Alibaba, on AliExpress, on wish.com, you find some nice products that are not available in Azerbaijan yet, because this product is a new trend and there is no big distributor of this product in Azerbaijan yet. And you find the guy on the supplier on AliExpress, you can start selling dropshipping to Baku or to Azerbaijan until somebody really import a big amount and beat you with the pricing and shipping delays. So what it is, the arbitrage, it's really an unusual imbalance between the demand and supply. Why I say it's unusual, it's because it's not supposed to be there. And that's why it's a window of opportunity. It's either the product is new and nobody else has identified it, or nobody trusts that there is a demand in Azerbaijan or somewhere else. So it's like hidden in plain sight. And then it's a temporary imbalance. And the reason why it's temporary is because once you identify that opportunity and you start moving, people will then notice that you are actually selling it, so that it will naturally create competition. People realize that there is demand that is not covered, and you notice it. Like if you take a street in Baku, and first there was no kebab shop, so there was an unusual imbalance. So one kebab shop open. That kebab shop open is doing good sales. Guess what happens? A second kebab shop opens, 3, 4, and then the whole street is kebab provider, and then the price of kebab goes down. So only those who really make a good kebab and have good margin will stay. So it's a little bit the same with drop shipping. You can be if you're the first one, you're going to position yourself, but know that people will come and open another shop and provide the same product. So this leads to the third characteristic of arbitrage, is that it's always followed, or it's often followed by a correction from the market. The market will react quickly because the market is also hungry for making profit, your competitors. So you can always expect competition to catch up more quickly than with normal commerce, because they also don't need to have $20,000 to start competing with you. They can just find the same supplier or a better supplier and then just start to do drop shipping like you did. And then you have to think, if it's like this, if I'm going to spend time to find a product, build my e-commerce website, build my marketing, and then the market is going to catch up with me, then how can I deal with this? So you have basically two ways. At least this is what I experimented, is that you need to be constantly on the research of a new product. It's almost like you have to consider that a product that you start selling right now will die in 3 months or 6 months. So you need to find the next batch of product. So you need to always be constantly doing research and development, finding another product that is going to come as a complementary product, or as a backup product, or as the new best sale item, because your products will slowly phase out. And then what you have to do, the second point to keep up with the competition, is that you have to be quick in changing, quick in proposing. So you have to be very agile. You have to move fast. You cannot be like a big factory and you have to wait a planning of 3 months and ask decision from your management and so on. With dropshipping, this business model is too quick. It needs a quick decision-making process. So that's how you can kind of keep up with dropshipping weaknesses, or with dropshipping natural level of competition. So now that we have seen how added value is created and how actually you can make some money out of this, let's look quickly at the cost control and what you need to really pay attention to. The first thing is that you're going to buy your products. So that's the cost of goods. Whatever that package I showed you, I buy from my supplier. I need to add on it the logistics and the returns costs. So this is the complete sales offer, I need to really know how much it costs me. And if you remember in the e-logistics webinar, I presented to you the costs of different ways of shipping. So you need to prepare your offer that it includes the shipping, and you need to really know how much it's going to cost you, especially with the returns. So you need to kind of put or make a provision of returns in your sales price. So don't, because it looks like when you buy it and you ship it, it costs you $20, but actually with the returns, it costs you $25 because you have 10% returns. So that's what you need to do. You need to include logistics and returns within your margin calculation. So this, I leave it to you to experience more or go back to the e-logistics webinar. And the second thing that you really need to pay attention to, and which in e-commerce, in normal commerce, this is not so much a problem when you have 2% or 3% or 4% transaction fees with e-payments. But in dropshipping, like 0.5% is important in terms of payment fees, because your margin are so low that the payment fees becomes a big fee in your calculation. So I just put here again a reminder from the e-payments webinar, and I mean, the good thing or the bad thing about this webinar is that it would require you to have followed the other webinars. So if you have not, please go back to the PDFs and the videos that we shared with you in the WhatsApp group to find out about the other webinars so that you can understand better this one. So in the e-payment webinar, I was highlighting one very important point, which we often miss when we start doing business. And the point that we miss is the currency exchange costs. So the first cost, which is the transaction cost, we know it because when we open a PayPal account or we open a checkout account or a Yandex checkout, we see how much they will take per transaction from the beginning when we sign the contract. What we do not see is that there will be currency exchange from the ruble to the manat, from the dollar to the manat, from the Japanese yen of the buyer to the US dollar of PayPal, and then from the US dollar of PayPal to the Azeri manat. So sometimes you may have between 3% and 7% of currency exchange fee, and that's huge. That can basically kill you, because if you take, let's say, 7% currency exchange fee plus bank transfer fee plus 3% of transaction fee, we are talking about 10%. 10% that is gone because of movement of money. 10% in drop shipping is probably 70% of your net profit, or about that, 50% or 75%. So you can lose it to payments. So be careful, calculate everything, maybe invest in getting the cheapest payment solution, because that will be very critical in dropshipping. Next point is that, like we saw in the webinar of in-app marketing, there is a cost of marketing. It's not customers, they don't fall from the sky to your business. You have to search for them, you have to find them, and you have to acquire them. You have to convince them to come and buy from you. So all that has a cost, and you can put a cost to a customer. It's called the cost to acquire a customer, or the CAC, the CAC. And normally, if you acquire a customer legally, because we could use some ways that are not very or legal or gray zone, like spamming, mass mailing and so on. So if you're not doing that, if you're doing things properly and you're doing campaigns on Facebook or campaigns on Google AdWords or even campaigns inside Amazon and eBay, then it may cost you between $1 or $20 to acquire a customer. And you have to compare the cost of acquisition of the customer and the LTV. The LTV is lifetime value of a customer. For example, it cost me $20 to find and convince a German customer to buy from me the first time. So maybe I lost money on the first sale, because on the sale I only had $5 of profit, but it costed me $20 to acquire that gentleman. But if that gentleman life cycle in my business is that he's going to order 4 times per year with me, then this is catching up to my $20 cost, because 4 times $5 will be $20, and I spent $20 to get him. So that's the life value time. If the life value time of my customer was 1 year, and in 1 year he buys 4 times, then I'm basically just barely breaking even. And this is where small and medium enterprises, or when we start e-commerce business, we don't realize that we're losing money. So you have to really calculate this very simple thing. And even if you start with an assumption that yes, they will buy honey 4 times per year, or they will buy these spices, or they will buy 2 carpets in their life with me, you have to make some assumption and then correct that assumption along the way. So this is this was the third cost. Now the fourth cost, which we don't like to talk about, and again, this was covered in the webinar of company formation in the US and Europe, is actually that as a seller, like I said at the very beginning, you're responsible for the taxes as well. So you need to really calculate how much you're going to lose, or how much taxes are going to eat from your margin, from your true margin. So you have 2 types of taxes. You have the income tax that you will probably pay in Azerbaijan. So you think you made $5 on a sale, but after you bring in that $5 of net profit to your account in Azerbaijan, then you pay, I don't know how much is taxes, 25%. So 25%, that's about $1 or $1.20 that will be gone in taxes. So you're actually only making $4, let's say, net at the very end. But what we miss especially is not so much the income tax, but the VAT. Because if you didn't include the VAT in your pricing, and the German customer now, when you deliver to him, there is 20% VAT, and that was not accounted for, that can actually completely kill you don't even have enough margin to cover the VAT, because your margins usually in dropshipping are below 30%, and even sometimes and often below 20%. So you can see that unless you really calculate and consider taxes in your business, whole business cycle, you could lose money with dropshipping very quickly. So these are the 4 points that you need to pay attention. Those are bleeding points in terms of costs that you need to pay attention to when you're doing dropshipping. So now let's assume that you after covering all your costs, you studied very well, you still can make a margin, you still can make a profit. Then good, we're going to do now dropshipping business. So I'm going to share with you very quickly 2 main ways of doing dropshipping, and later I will also present some variations. One way that I used personally, and it's a 3-step process, or 3 components. And this is when you have a website, or if you want to build a website. So you need first a website. That's your sale platform. That's where you're going to sell. So it's either a WordPress, a Shopify, Magento, OS Commerce, Wix, whatever. Even you could use technically a Facebook store or an Instagram click and pay. I mean, this is the side that will sell to your customer. That's the sales platform. And then before you can get the sales platform, you need to find the supplier. That's the sourcing platform. So you could technically source from Amazon. And myself, I was able to buy products as a consumer from Amazon Prime and get the free shipping. So that was my source. It could be Amazon. I will show you later. I chose Amazon Germany, but it could be AliExpress here as a sourcing platform. It can be Walmart. It can be another supplier. There are some websites with Chinese manufacturers that are actually positioning themselves as a drop shipping supplier. So you can find a lot of marketplaces and a lot of listings of those drop shipping suppliers. So this is the source where you will source your products from. And then to make it work, to make these 2 connect, usually you're going to need an arbitrage solution or a drop shipping software or a drop shipping tool, or you could do it manually with Excel files. But as I said before, drop shipping is very time consuming, and it cannot be done manually, because you will not be able to scale up to have hundreds of products or thousands of products listed so that you can sell 10 of them. So you would need a price, an arbitrage solution. And myself, I used Price Yak. And you can see that Price Yak, for example, it can connect with different sources. So they can connect, and what it means connect is that they can pull the product information from one source and then display it on your sale platform. So they get the data from the sourcing platform and copy paste it and change the price and list it on your sales platform. That's what they do for you. They help you to smooth this copy and paste and synchronization of the stocks and so on. So you can see that PriceStrike at the moment, they allow you to source products from Amazon US, UK, Canada, Germany, France. You can also source and resell products from Walmart in the US. You can also pull products from AliExpress, so China, and then put them on your website, and also Costco, the American big retail chain, and eBay. So it means you can pull products out of eBay and put them on your website with a higher price. This is what Price Yak or other arbitrage solution will help you do. So basically, these are the bricks that you need to plug. It's not very complicated because WordPress would have a module or a plugin to plug Price Yak. Shopify has it as well. And then you just open an Amazon buyer account. It's not even, this is not an Amazon seller account. It's a buyer account, which is available in Azerbaijan. As an Azeri person, you can open an Amazon account, even a Prime account in Germany, as long as you have a German address where you want to ship those products. So this is the basic building blocks. And you have a second way, which I actually experimented it with my wife, which is no website, just doing arbitrage from one marketplace, online marketplace, to a second online marketplace. So in this particular case, this was like about 2 years and a half ago. My wife wanted to do something on e-commerce, and because I'm supposed to be a specialist of e-commerce, she asked me to teach her. So I was lazy, and I thought maybe one easy and quick way and almost zero cost way to get someone to start experimenting with e-commerce is dropshipping. So basically the idea was very simple. I noticed that in Amazon Germany, there were some products that were cheaper than on Amazon, than on eBay Germany. So we're talking about the same country, Germany, and the same product in Germany, but on two different marketplaces. I noticed, and that's the arbitrage windows of opportunity. I noticed some products, I could make enough money even after the commission of the payments and so on. So my wife didn't get it at the beginning, but I told her, look, we don't even need to speak German. I don't speak German, very, very basic German. She doesn't speak German, but we don't need, because that's what the arbitrage solution will do, is that it will copy and paste the product and description and photos and the stocks and put them there. And then when there is a sale, Amazon will ship and will pull and and the arbitrage solution will take the shipping information, like the tracking code and the notification, and inform my buyer on eBay. So actually I do nothing. I just find the products, list them on eBay, and when the sales happen, the system does it all. So what we have to do is basically only two things. Find the products that have a nice margin and are not yet sold on eBay or are sold more expensive on eBay. And second, manage the returns and the customer support. So it's a pretty interesting first experience with e-commerce, because with dropshipping, my wife was able to do the first sale in less than a week. And we're talking no marketing, no SEO, no pay-per-click, nada, zero. We just opened the eBay Pro store, which is like 30 euro per month. And that was it. People were already searching for a product. And because we were 50 cents or $1 or euro cheaper than everyone else on that particular product, well, people would buy from us. That was as simple as that. Even if we actually had no history, our eBay account was new, zero testimonials. So what happened is that thanks to the arbitrage software, we spent some time and we generated the first sale in less than a week. This is very impressive for beginners in e-commerce. and it's very encouraging. And then the second point is that we were able to list 1,000 products, first 100 and then 500, and then eBay will increase your limit of listing. Now it's harder and harder, but we eventually were able to find 1,000 products that were cheaper on Amazon that we could pull, copy, paste, and put on eBay at a higher price. And then this allowed us to do 200 sales in less than 2 months, which is, again, with no marketing, it's a lot. Because if we had spent on marketing, maybe we could have done 1,000 sales. But I mean, this experience was about minimum costs, close to zero. And then one mistake that I think when you do dropshipping, you have to avoid, and this is what a little bit we've done with my wife, I was not able to convince her, is that you should not resist the returns. And because, like I told you before, one return in dropshipping can kill 10 sales, it was emotionally very hard. It will be emotionally very hard for you to accept a return, because you will think, no, I worked so hard to make 10 sales. I cannot lose 10 sales profit on one return. But that's actually the trap in dropshipping. You better accept it, because once we started to resist the returns, you see here, we have 43 feedbacks, positive feedbacks. I mean, feedbacks in general. And at the beginning, we had 100% satisfaction. And then when my wife started to resist and make it harder for people to return, we started to get bad comments. You see here, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 bad comments on 43 feedbacks. That is 10%, almost 10% bad feedbacks, and it's not so good. It's okay, but my objective was to reach 100 feedbacks with 0 complaint, because then you're like you become a super seller on eBay, and that can increase your number of sales and then your profit eventually. So this is a little bit the difficult emotional part of dropshipping. Be careful, don't resist returns. Either accept them and keep people happy, or if it's too much returns, abandon that product. Don't sell it anymore, because it's electronics. Electronics get more returns. Or you're selling, for example, underwears or bras, and because they are hygienic and they are sensitive to the size, body size, so you have more returns. So those products, you phase them out, you take them out, and you only sell what has less returns. But eventually, when other sellers on eBay noticed that we were making money, some others started to sell the same products. So like I was saying before, there is more competition, margins started to go down, and we needed to spend more time to find more products, and then we kind of lost motivation or profit motivation. This is the classic story of dropshipping, that if you know it in advance, you can have your dropshipping make more money longer, because eventually it will phase out. But if you know this in advance, what I'm sharing with you right now, you can actually benefit from the dropshipping window of opportunity that you notice. You can benefit from it a bit longer and a bit better. This is why I share with you this story. And remember, we're talking about a beginner, somebody who never did any e-commerce. Yet with the dropshipping, we were able to have a first experience. And for your information, we managed to have between €3 and €7 net profit per transaction, which for arbitrage was quite good at that time. Now it's a little bit harder to get that margin, but this is what we were able to get, an average of €5 to €6 profit. So every time we were doing 100 sales, we were making €500. So if you do maybe for let's say somebody who just want to do a side business, maybe for them, €500 per month or maybe €1,000 per month is enough. But for a real business, this is not a standalone business model. So that's what you need to understand. Unless you really can secure something very special and you're very aggressive on marketing and so on. But there's some other ways that you can use dropshipping I will share with you. So these are two experiences, two ways that you could deploy dropshipping. Now, there are other slight variations of dropshipping that again can extend your product life cycle or can extend your margins. And basically, I'm going to present to you 3 things that I have done, 3 case studies or 3 business models that I have done and that prove a little bit better. So first, there is something that is quite interesting if you want to start experimenting dropshipping. There is something called ODP, on-demand printing. So if, let's say, you're good in design, or you have a specific logo or an image that you bought and you want to leverage it, you can actually get it printed on t-shirts, hats, mouse pads, you know, what is called merchandising. So you can create a merchandising e-commerce store where you don't need to buy the merchandise in advance and you own the design. So for example, this business that I'm working with, which is for journalists. So for our journalists, we have our own jacket. If you're a reporter, you wear our jacket or our mouse pad or the pin. And here it's a charity business. So if you want to support the charity, you can buy the hoodie, you can buy the hat, you can buy the mug. And we don't buy these in advance. We just applied our design. And then what I've done is that I opened an artsad.com, which is an ODP supplier, an on-demand printing supplier from China. Forgive me. And then I installed the WordPress WooCommerce website, and then I could plug it to ArtsAd. They have a plugin. So once I plugged ArtsAd on my WooCommerce, I go into ArtsAd, I upload my photo or my design or whatever. I choose the product model, I fix my price, I create product on ArtsAd, and then I click synchronize to my WooCommerce, and then it will push it to my WooCommerce with my price. So ArtsAd will tell me, for example, this hoodie, it will cost you $19. How much you want to sell it on your website? So I say $19. I'm going to add up $10, so I'm going to sell it $29 or $39 or whatever. And this is how it works. So basically, ArtsAd is doing everything for you after the sale. First, you just create your product and you upload it to your website. And then if there is a sale, the sale will be validated, the payment is validated, and then WooCommerce will talk to ArtsAd and tell them, print this design on this product, a t-shirt, and ship it to this client. And then ArtsAd will execute the thing, and you just have to keep an eye on how the business goes. So this is one way of doing dropshipping that is less competitive, less stressed, because you're adding a different value, which is a graphic branding value to the dropshipping business model. And this can be, for example, like we are doing in these two businesses we have, this can be a side income. This can be an additional category to your existing catalogs. For example, I'm from Azerbaijan and I sell Azeri carpets, right? And my carpets, they have specific Azeri tribal design or some designs, right? Some nice designs. So I could I'm selling carpets, and at the same time, I'm going to open a new category, Azeri clothing, or Azeri, or I don't know, wear my carpet. That means that you can wear the design of my carpet. So I take all the design of my carpets, put them on t-shirts, hats, mugs, whatever, and I create an additional catalog. So that gives more volume to my offering. Some people may find it cool, and for me, it's marketing, because if somebody has the mug in his house, if somebody wears the t-shirt with my brand, for me, it's not only a profit on the sale of the item, but for you, it may be actually a free marketing opportunity. So this is one way that you could look at, and this is one it's almost like it's actually free to start it, because a WordPress and a domain name, it costs maybe $10 or $20 a year. You get it set, you plug it, opening an ArtsAd account is free. So you're there 24 hours, $20, you're starting your on-demand printing dropshipping business. So this is one way, one variation. A second variation, or the same business pushed to the next level, and this is what my contract with my daughter. So my daughter is making some nice drawings on paper. So I talked to her and I told her, how about you do your own dropshipping business, your on-demand printing business, because your drawing is your intellectual property. So just like I was saying, the Azeri carpet design, this is my daughter did this nice drawing, and out of this drawing we did these school bags, we did mugs, we did t-shirts, we did caps and so on. And then she opened her own YouTube channel, so she's promoting her merchandise on TikTok, on YouTube, and then she has her own e-commerce website. She's 10 years old, by the way. So if a 10 years old can do this, you can do it. And the idea is that if I start this on my own WordPress website, WooCommerce, it costs me nothing. So the contract is that if this picks up, then I'm going to invest to do the same thing on Merch by Amazon. I don't know if you're aware of this, but Amazon has a service for designers or for trademark or graphic design owners. They allow you to actually, they will print and ship for you even faster than ArtsAd. But it's a little bit harder to open an Amazon Merch account, a Merch by Amazon account. It's almost the same as, it's actually the same as opening an Amazon seller account. So you can revert back to the webinar on how to open a US and European Amazon account, because that will give you an opportunity to push such a business to the next level with Merch by Amazon. So this is variation plus increasing the reach. There is a second type of printing on demand, but this is physical. It's 3D printing. So I don't know if you saw last year I did an intervention in Azerbaijan about virtual reality. So I brought a virtual reality camera to Baku and did a training on it. And my first 3D printing camera actually didn't exist. So I had to buy or design a 3D model and print it myself, or buy it from a provider and print it myself, because there was no supplier. You could not buy this from anywhere in AliExpress, anywhere in any shop. It's not available in any computer shop. So in that case, someone in the UK designed this. It's called the gimbal. It's a support for 5 Xiaomi sports cameras that you can combine 6 cameras and build up a virtual reality, a 360 degrees video. So you see, this is actually a business model. So I'm selling a physical product, but I designed it digitally speaking. And what happens is that you have websites like shapeways.com and others where you can upload your virtual product, your 3D design, and then they will advertise it. And when people will buy, they will pay Shapeways. Shapeways will 3D print it in the US or in China. They have different zones. They will 3D print it for the customer and ship it to them. So now I can sell a chair. I can sell a flower vase. I can sell a frame. I can sell whatever my mind can do. I can sell it and get it 3D printed and shipped. So this is 3D printing on demand. And the good thing is that when you design something, it belongs to you as an intellectual property. So Shapeways is your distribution partner, but technically you own the file. Nobody should, and they will protect you. Nobody will copy your 3D design file unless you authorize them to. And then you can start to build your reputation, your brand as a designer, as a producer, as a manufacturer. And then it can be a nice tool, a nice way to verify demand before you actually produce this item with injection molding. Injection molding, you need at least $20,000 to build the molds, and then you're going to build a new mold because it broke or customers don't like it. So if you go directly to production, mass production, before actually having prototypes with 3D printed, it will cost you a lot of money. So if you use this technique and you have an idea on creating your own product, I think this is a very interesting dropshipping plus prototype design opportunity. Now let's look at a third way of looking at or imagining dropshipping, which is, I actually just came up with my own Swiss watch brand. And this is real. I just negotiated during COVID a deal with the Swiss watchmaker. So it's really made in Switzerland. It will be a Swiss watch. So what I've done is that I secured the domain name called swissmariner.com because I want to sell a watch, it's a niche market business. I want to sell a watch to people who like boating, yachting, you know, this kind of industry, and Swiss made. So I found a very good quality producer in Switzerland, and then I negotiated with them white labeling, meaning that they will put my logo inside the watch, as you can see here. Now, normally it will not be a dropshipping business, because you will need to buy the watch. You need to buy at least 100 watches, for example, and then buy them, receive them, and then you start to sell them. But that's too much money for me. So I want to do dropshipping. So I kind of convinced the supplier that I only pay for the molds, you know, the stamping mold that will imprint my brand inside the watch plate. So I pay for the molds, I pay for the custom parts and the printing of the coloring and the box, because I need my own box with my own logo. So I only pay for those parts that will belong to my business. So it reduces the cost. I didn't need to pay for the watch itself. And then I negotiated that once I get the customer and I build the model which is on demand. So somebody buy a watch, then they have to wait 2 weeks, because in 2 weeks we can produce the watch and ship it, or maybe 10 days in some cases. So I negotiated with this supplier in Switzerland an order fulfillment arrangement. So now I have my own product, my own brand. I can build my own brand, and I didn't invest so much in the business. And this is dropshipping, because I don't have the watch. I will only have it and deliver it after I sell it. So what the advantages of this mode of dropship, let's call it white label production plus dropshipping plus fulfillment, is that I co-own the model of the watch. So the watch itself, the mechanical watch, belongs to that company, but they authorize me to advertise and sell it. But this little sticker here, this little customization is mine. This is my brand. So it's my intellectual property. I co-own the watch design, but I fully own the brand. So I can build the brand, I can build reputation. And even if at the beginning I have a small margin, I can use my brand to increase the perception of the price. And then by turning this business negotiation into a dropshipping model, I can start the business with less than $2,000. Because if you want to start your own Swiss watch, you probably normally you would need like $100,000 investment. But now, with my little knowledge and my little negotiation, I could kick this off. And also one point that was important to me, because I did not want to take risk, is that if I don't sell this watch, it costs me nothing, because I've done the website myself. Nobody buys, I don't have expenses. Somebody buys, I buy the watch. So this is a little bit using the advantages of dropshipping in terms of not buying the stock, but using some added value that will make that my dropshipping have a longer life. And this is what I'm trying to share with you, so that you can actually really benefit from dropshipping, because dropshipping has its own limitation and has its own difficulties. So you could think of different ways of building your dropshipping business model, or using dropshipping as an additional source of income or inventory. So basically, this is from first-hand experience. This is just very recent. And before we finish, and I'll be glad to take your questions, I will summarize a little bit my experience doing dropshipping e-commerce, and what I think you should follow as very basic rules before you can start your own dropshipping experience. So the first thing about dropshipping is that you cannot be lazy. You really have to spend time to identify and find an untapped opportunity, an untapped niche market, an untapped problem in the demand. So there is demand for a specific thing, and there is no supply. That is that is number one rule before starting dropshipping business. For example, in my first experience with my wife, we identified that those kids lamps with Disney, Walt Disney movies were available in Amazon at a low price, but not on eBay, and both we are in Germany. And likewise with the Swiss watch, I thought, wait, there is not much brands that focus on the navy, on the boating industry. And since now with dropshipping, I don't need the capital, why not trying? There's no much competition for this specific niche. So that's identifying the opportunity, identifying the even if it's a small window where supply is not answering the demand. Number one. Second, you need to really calculate every cost. So the cost of manufacturing, customization, cost of goods, production, taxes, returns, marketing costs, transaction costs, as you saw, packaging costs, so many costs, human resources costs, because it takes time. At least count $5, $10 per hour for your time that you spend looking for products. Because if you want to scale one day, then you need to hire people to do this for you. So this is what you need to do. Number two is calculate, factor all the costs. 3, very important, you need to be ready to change everything. You need to be ready to change your price, change the packaging, change the product, change the target market. So you have to be ready for any sudden change requirement. You need to, even sometimes you're going to lose the last units of an inventory because the market has catch up, and if you're still hanging to sell those 5 units that are left for you, you're missing the opportunity of selling a new product that will have more sales. So this is also something that you should not be afraid of changing. And actually it's a business model that requires frequent change. Number 4, you could actually not build your business model on dropshipping, but use dropshipping as an enhancement of another business model, commercial model, another product. So this is, for example, I'm going to use dropshipping just to identify a demand. For example, I would like to sell t-shirts. I want to do a t-shirt business, but before I sell my t-shirt business, I'm going to use dropshipping to test American market and see which colors sell, which sizes sell. Is it XL or L or medium or small? That sells a lot in the US for men, for women. So I can use dropshipping for making market mistakes, for making market discovery. Instead of producing 1,000 t-shirts and then I end up, oh, wrong size, wrong cut, wrong color, you know? So this is an interesting way of using dropshipping as a market study, as a market demand identification process. Number 5, another way of using dropshipping is that you're already selling something, food, clothing, or for example, you're selling, I don't know, home decoration items. So handicraft, home decoration. And then on top of that, because I want to promote my brand, I'm going to do my own merchandising. Like I'm going to sell also a watch, a wall clock. I'm going to sell curtains like this with my own brand. I'm going to sell bed sheets with my own brand because that matches my decoration item. For example, I do handmade Azeri vases, and my same design of the vase, I make it for the bed sheet so that I can offer a whole experience of the bedroom decoration for my client with my product that I have that I make in Azerbaijan and my printed on demand product, which is the bed sheet, the pillows that will have my design. And this doesn't cost me nothing in advance and it enhances my catalog. So that's also one way of using dropshipping. And like I showed you, number 6, another interesting way that you could use dropshipping for is you want to build your reputation on eBay or on Amazon or Alibaba or wherever for a specific product. For example, I have carpets. I want to sell carpets, but the problem is that when I'm going to start selling carpets on eBay, I have 0 customers, I have 0 reputation, I have 0 order and 0 testimonials. And my carpet is unknown. So it may take 2 months, 3 months, 4 months before I do the first sales. I don't have that time. I want to build up my reputation. So 3 months before I start selling carpets, I do drop shipping, just like I did with my wife. My objective is to do 50 sales, 100 sales, and have at least 30 good reviews, because that drop shipping now will prepare my store for me to start advertising my carpets or any other product. So this is also one interesting way of preparing your reputation in a marketplace using dropshipping. Number 7, which is my favorite use of dropshipping, is that for me, dropshipping is a sandbox. It's a playground. It's a training environment. Before I do an e-commerce full-fledged business, I test. I use dropshipping to test, you know. I want to sell watches. I want to do a business with watch, but I'm not sure I should invest or go full-fledged with a complete investment in everything you need to launch a watch business. I'm going to use my little dropshipping Swiss-made watch website. Or I want to, like I said, sell some clothes and I don't know the sizes and so on. So really, I think dropshipping can be a very interesting platform for making mistakes, for optimizing my routines, for identifying demand, for changing my colors, changing my sizes, adding functionalities, because I realized that they prefer 2 pockets shirts instead of 1 pocket. So that's how, for me, I also see dropshipping in terms of business experimentation. So I think this is the 7 points, the 7 good practices that you could keep in mind before engaging into dropshipping. And I hope this was not too wild, too eccentric. And I just wanted to share with you because I had the chance to actually verify it and do it for real. And I think dropshipping is still, it is difficult as a standalone business. It is very difficult, almost impossible. But if you're smart about dropshipping, you can find ways to make dropshipping work for you. So I think I'm off with these good practices, Eldar, and we can open the floor to questions and hopefully I can provide answers. Eldar, are you still here?
Mohammed, can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you, yeah.
Yeah. So we have 2 questions.
Uh-huh.
Just, my internet is very slow. Just give me some time. I will open the chat box. So.
Oh, I see a big text in Azeri.
Yes, yeah. Maybe you can answer a question from Aygun.
Yes, it's in English. Yes, I'll do that at the time. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's open, yeah. Aygun asked a question in English.
Yes, so I'm going to read it first. So thank you, Aygun, for the question. So Aygun says, I want to clarify for myself, I understand correctly or not. If when we open an e-commerce site, we don't see sales by one company, and there are more companies on one page, such as Zara, Collins, and etc., is this a drop shipping site or it may be in other e-commerce solutions shipping? I need to understand this question better. Just
the question, when you see a website that sells various goods, various brands, not only one brand.
Yes.
Is it always a drop shipping or something else?
It's hard to say, and that's why dropshipping still works. You see, the magic of dropshipping is that from the outside, the website, you do not know if it's dropshipping or not. You do not know, especially at the beginning, because you just see the product, the price, and you see that it will ship in 1 week. You have no way to know if that person is really have the stock of those products or not. You don't know. Until you actually receive it and you see it's the packaging from Amazon or it's the packaging from Zara. So many people are doing dropshipping from Zara and Zalando. I think Azerbaijan, many ladies are buying from Zalando and Zara, right? So many people are actually pulling products from Zalando, which includes Zara products and other brands from Europe. And if you see a website in Azerbaijan that lists all these products that are also in Zalando, there, and the price is like 10–20% more expensive, but it's the same shipping rules, it could be drop shipping. Because it's some smart people, they notice these items on Zalando or Zara, and then they build up the drop shipping, their own drop shipping e-commerce, and they're selling it to Azerbaijan. So this is what happens. Now, in one of my slides, I put a point which is important to notice is that, I think it's this one here, yes. So you see this slide, I am explaining here that marketplaces, laws, and even religions, they are trying to discourage dropshipping. Why they want to discourage dropshipping? Because for them and for the clients, it's somehow like a cheat. It's a marketing cheat, because if they actually find this product themselves on Amazon, they can buy it cheaper. So it's only because they didn't see it yet that they are buying from the dropshipping website. So, so in a way, I'm going to go back to, sorry, to the chat. The question from Aigun is that you will not be able to know, but marketplaces, they usually know. So they are blocking more and more the dropshipping. For example, on Zara marketplace, nobody can sell except Zara. So whatever you see on Zara is not dropshipping. I mean, it's not dropshipping from someone else, but it's often dropshipping from Zara, because Zara and other brands like Louis Vuitton, if you notice, it's often made in China. So they actually own the product, but it's shipped from China, it's shipped from Tunisia. Zara has also some factories in Tunisia. So in a way, Zara is also doing like a half drop shipping. They're not selling you the Zara items that are in Spain, or they're not selling you the Zalando product that are advertised in Germany. So it's like a really gray zone. But in theory, on marketplaces like Zalando or Zara or Amazon or even eBay right now, there are less and less, or if not almost no, drop shipping. You have to be very smart to be able to do drop shipping now on eBay. So I hope this answers the question.
Yes, so just as a summary, so when you see a few brands, one online shop, it's not always a drop shipping. It can be that some entrepreneur agreed with producers and he sells their products. It's not necessarily drop shipping.
That's right. It's very hard to tell. I mean, I can tell because I have experience in e-commerce. But for consumers, usually you don't tell. And also, the only way you can tell is by looking at the shipping delays. For example, if you see a Nazeri website that is selling electronics and they tell you you have to wait 5 weeks, that's probably because they buy it from AliExpress and it takes 5 weeks to ship from AliExpress to Azerbaijan, right? So this can be a sign, the delay in shipping. But now the same website in Azerbaijan tells me 3 days delivery, then I know that probably they have the stock in Azerbaijan. So it's not drop shipping. It's they buy the products from AliExpress, why not? And they buy it in bulk. You know, like I was explaining, if you buy in volume, you get a discount. So it's not drop shipping. It is actually a real investment that they did. And the other possibility, Eldar, is that it is slow shipping from China, but it's not drop shipping, it's e-fulfillment, because I really bought the products from that Chinese company. I just asked them to keep it in China and ship for me. So technically I buy the products. So if I buy the products, it's not drop shipping anymore. It's normal e-commerce. It's e-commerce plus fulfillment.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah.
Well, I have a question. May I ask?
Yes, sure.
Go ahead.
Okay. So thank you, Mr. Mohammed, just for what you're doing. So I'm just getting more information. So as I get more information, the opportunities come.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, maybe a week ago, I was on conference call and there was a guy, he's the owner of the Swiss watch factory. He lives in America, but he has like watches Swiss made in Swiss. Okay, Swiss made. Okay, so asked me just, we're gonna agree to help. He's gonna promote our services in the States, and he wants us to take it like be an ambassador of his, for this region, Russia, Georgia, whatever this region, just he asked us. But the thing is we're gonna rebrand his site, whatever we saw, because it's expensive luxury. but he made up with $195. What he wants to do is like David Livingston, some kind of these watches as movement and this kind of China, and they give 1 year warranty just for these watches, but he gives lifetime. But comparing the price, it's going to be the best. But the thing is, I was connecting yesterday with a guy, he's a sales director of the aviation high tech in Israel, and he gave me suggestions. He says, Leila, you know, in this time, market sales are low, but everything's going marketing. But in sales, it's going to be best for accessoires. So I told him about the watches. He says, yes. But the price should be $99.99. So whatever is going to be, let's just do it for $99.99. This is his suggestion in Israel. So what are you thinking about? He told like it's going to be jewelry and the glasses, sunglasses. So now the market is not for selling big stuff. It's only like for accessoires for the soul, because people are just going for some crisis.
Yes.
And I agree with him. So what do you think about that? How's about the market and about the product? But I wasn't planning seriously about these watches. But now I'm just trying to take it, you know, a little bit seriously as we do rebranding of his.
And that's exactly Leila. Thank you. Is Leila right? This is Leila speaking. Yes. So I think this kind of summarizes a little bit what I tried to explain in this webinar. Is that there are always opportunities with dropshipping. It's really like up and down, up and down, up and down, different products. So right now, what sells? I mean, there are different products that sells well right now, especially in summer. So for example, you have some people, they are selling inflatable swimming pools in dropshipping right now. Some others are selling sunglasses, like you said. Accessories work well because why accessories work well is because they are small, not heavy and expensive. So for example, like the gentleman told you from Israel, is that if you sell watches or sunglasses, it's below 500 grams usually. And below 500 grams, and you sell it for $100, this is a good product to experiment with. You see what I mean? Because the shipping cost will be low and the selling price is high enough. So you can take that little bit of risk of, like you said, spending on rebranding and so on. But I think the answer to your question, whether it is worth or not, the answer is, I don't know. And you also do not know. So
I mean, I want to just also tell that just one moment. He just tells that he's going to take the cover of the shipping. So we're not taking any shipping. So it's just he's giving us like opportunity. He's covered the shipping to Azerbaijan. I think we're going to do it again custom. And he said, actually, I'm not going to create my website. We will do the branding for him because we need just to change his website. So he will put the money on that, and he agreed to put money even on the marketing. I mean, he wants to come on this market.
So it's all good. And I think the advantage for this kind of situation, I think there is one advantage that you guys have in Azerbaijan that we do not have in other countries. And it's the de minimis of Azerbaijan. For example, you can buy for up to $1,000 as a consumer online in Azerbaijan without paying import tax and VAT. Is that correct?
What about, just explain again, this is, I need to just process it. What just you told about the sentence?
The name in
What is this, the last sentence? What is the last sentence?
Yes, it's called de minimis. So when you buy something— De
minimis?
Yes, it's a custom duty rule.
Okay.
Yeah, we've done it in the training in Baku, but maybe Eldar can help explain in Azeri. So for example, when you are an Azeri consumer, an individual, and you buy something online from outside of Azerbaijan. Let's say you buy a watch from China or a decoration item from America, right? So when you're a consumer buying from outside of Azerbaijan, let's say you buy something for $100, right? When it will arrive by post to Azerbaijan.
20%, around 18 or 20%, something like. It's going to be taxes on the on this product.
Yes, normally. But if you provide your passport copy or your national ID, you can benefit from an exemption of duties and VAT, as long as it's below a certain amount. So not so many people know this. And I think for dropshipping in Azerbaijan,
I heard about. Below 1,000, it's
exactly,
more than 1,000.
Yes.
You have to pay. Yeah.
So it's the same in China. For example, we can do dropshipping to China. We can resell German brand in China, and if it's below $300, we don't have, the customer doesn't have to pay Chinese custom duties and taxes. This is interesting to know because you don't have to deal with the taxes, and the taxes will not eat in your margin. You just have to cover the shipping fees. So to answer your question, if you're having an opportunity from outside of Azerbaijan to do drop shipping to Azerbaijan and they cover the shipping fees, then I think it's a nice opportunity, especially if it costs you just the rebranding investment.
Yeah, even the rebranding doesn't cost us anything. He will just put investment in the new sites, and my son can create a website, doesn't matter.
So that's exactly,
so he's going to create for him.
Yes, that's exactly the main advantage of dropshipping, is that you can kick off you can test a new business, you can kick off a new business for almost virtually no cost, no upfront costs. So this is exactly the power of dropshipping. And just please remember the few points that I mentioned where you could lose money with dropshipping, and then you're good to go.
Yeah, thank you very much, because I've got what we've been talking today is the same thing he suggested us, but I'm going to maybe receive, because this guy from Israel yesterday, he told me about the same thing. Just now he didn't know about anything about what I'm going to do with watches, accessories. So nowadays are only just for this type of cheapest but comfort under 99 and 99, something accessories, sunglasses. You should told me. So what do you think? Also, you've been searching for the market now, much more than me. What do you thinking about the market now? Like,
that's exactly the thing that I do not want to answer, or I think nobody can answer for you. Is you're the one. This is the main added value of main creation of value in dropshipping, is that you find the opportunities, not somebody else finds them for you. So I would say, I don't know. Right now I don't know. But I can tell you there are some tools. There are some tools. For example, there is a tool called junglescout.com. Have you heard about this one? Junglescout.com.
No, what is that? Gender Scout?
I'm going to write it in the chat for everyone. So it's jungle, like the jungle, scout.com. So this website, you can go and find out what kind of products are selling in America, in Germany, on Amazon, and have a good margin and sells a lot in summer, and where there is less sellers. So this way you can find what sells a lot and where there is less competition. It gives you an idea which kind of sunglasses are selling well in America, and then that gives you an idea of maybe you can sell this in Azerbaijan. So it's just for identifying potential demand and how big the demand is.
Yeah, we'll start with the watches first, because I'm not going to put too much product.
And even you can find out, is it women watches, men watches, mixed unisex watches that sells well, black, silver, leather, stripes. This is a good study tool for you to know what is the demand.
Yeah, actually, what he just want to try to do, he's just mostly like a copy, like David Livingstone, we're going to watches for $200. That is going well right now. So he developed some kind of type of that. But in comparing to this Chinese that 1 year and produce it there, it's going to be Swiss made, it's going to last our warranty. He says $195 will bet the market. But the guy from Israel told me like 99 and 99. He should put. I'm going to talk with him. This is all about we're trying to help his company to brand. So we are just trying to give some ideas, just what amount of money to put on Swiss watch, just bring it here. Just this different market, different.
I mean, just to summarize, Leila, and then we're gonna reply the question from Ajil, is that with drop shipping, the main advantage is that you can control your potential loss. Because what you're going to lose if you try this opportunity, what you're going to lose is your time, right? That's all. You're going to lose your time and a little bit of money for maybe some graphic design. So this is the magic of drop shipping, is that if this business is wrong, I don't lose $10,000. I just lost like $100, maybe $200, and then I can try another product. So that's, I will close on this kind of answer.
Thank you.
And thank you, Leila.
Thank you. Bye.
Yep.
Eldar?
Leyla was, I think the question from, just give me a second, I'm still trying to open my chat box.
Yeah, I see there is more than one question, I think. 1, 2, 3.
So again, it's still opening, so I don't know, it's probably slow internet, but as far as I remember, Agil was asking about oh yeah, so it's open now. So Agil says that he and his partners, they opened the dropshipping website.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, just give me a second.
usalnet.com.
Yes, and he asked if you can review his website and tell him if it's good or bad. So I think Agil Bey, yani kısa olarak birinci sualınıza cevap verebilirim ki, yani Muhammed'e belki indi belediyede e-mailine yazıp onun rəyini isteyebilirsiniz, bu website'a baksın, ama belediyede bizim bugünkü görüşümüzün məqsədi Leyla xanım biraz istifadə elədi Muhammed'dən ki, konkret öz biznesinə dair bir tövsiyələr versin. Belediyede bu artıq belə konkret sizin biznesə aid tövsiyələrdir. Ona görə indi yenə deyirəm, Muhammed'ə yazın, baxın və konsultant kimi onunla danışıb, necə deyim, onu istifadə edə bilərsiniz. Amma yenə də bizim Muhammed'lə danışığımıza əsasən Muhammed ümumi bu seminarları keçirməli. Yəni artıq konkret kiminsə biznesinə dair rəy vermək, bu biraz belediyede artıq başqa bir necə deyim, işdir. So I just answered the first question about the giving review about someone's, just as I was saying that Leyla also wanted to use Muhammad as a kind of she wanted you to give your recommendations about her business, so but it's not within our scope of work.
Yes.
I can contact you and ask you, I don't know, maybe hire you as a consultant or ask you to give a short opinion about their websites, their businesses. So yeah. The first question was about your opinion about the website. Second question is very interesting question, I think. Agil asks if, so many payment systems, they don't like drop shippers. Why?
Yes, not only payment systems, marketplaces also, they don't like drop shippers. So it's this slide. So even the laws, and this is because the main problem is this problem, is that there is a history of the legal problems with drop shippers. For example, a marketplace or a payment system, let's say Shopify payment system or Amazon Marketplace and Amazon Pay, the dropshipper, they give them a lot of troubles because they sometimes sell so many things that they sell nonsense. What I mean by nonsense is that from time to time, they have the wrong product that has some chemicals, or sometimes they say they will deliver in 1 week, they deliver in 2 weeks, and they have a high percentage of chargebacks, refunds, and returns. So dropshipping is very bad for the reputation for marketplaces and payment systems, and it costs them a lot of money to deal with dropshippers. I mean, to deal with bad dropshippers. And that's why I introduced to you today how you can be a good dropshipper, because it's not because you have a tool that you can use it without responsibility, you know? So you have to do dropshipping in a smart way, in a studied way, and in a responsible way. And if you do dropshipping in a responsible way, by law, they cannot forbid you. So they don't want you, but there is no law that says dropshipping is forbidden for now. They just don't like it.
Agil Bey, siz xahiş elədiniz ki, cavabı da, yəni qısa olaraq Muhammed deyir ki, yəni onlar bir çox platformalar, ödəniş sistemləri, onlar dropshipperləri xoşlamırlar. Çünki onlar belə deyə də baş ağrıya səbəb olurlar. çoxlu qaytarmalar olur və s. Yəni orada pul gəlir, sonra pulu qaytarmaq lazımdır və s. Yəni belə baş ağrıya səbəb olurlar deyə dropshipperləri sevmirlər. Amma bu qanunla qadağan olunmasa da bunları sevmirlər. Amma yenə də burada söhbət Muhammed də deyir ki, pis dropshipperlər haqqından gedir. Amma indi siz Muhammedin burada slaydlarında göstərdiyi kimi belə deyək də yaxşı dropshipper olsaz, yəni burada heç bir problem olmayacaq. And the third question was about Yandex Money, Shopify. So he was asking about if local Azerbaijani Milli Card and Azeri Card can enter into some agreement with Shopify to organize these payments. But again, I think it's out of our scope of work. Agil Bey, üçüncü sualınıza cavab olaraq, yəni bunu bəlkə biz Ayxan Beydən xahiş eləyək ki, yəni bu problem ki, biz ümumiyyətlə bu problemi bir neçə dəfə də AzExportla da müzakirə eləmişik ki, ödəniş sistemlərinin, belə deyə də, Azərbaycan satıcıları üçün, necə deyim, onlar çox vaxt Azərbaycan satıcılarını qəbul eləmirlər. İndi bəlkə Ayxan Bey bizi eşidirsə, AzExport tərəfindən...
Bir daha. Hi Muhammed, how are you?
Ayxan Bey, how are you?
Bu Milli Card və Azeri Card Shopify...
Salamlayıram bir daha, özürlə hesab edeyim. Biraz iş qrafiki bizdə gərgindir. Növbə ilə çalışırıq. Ona görə müəyyən qədər iş qrafikimizdə gərginlik var. Ona görə tam adaptasiya olmaq biraz çətindir təlimə. Demək ki, Shopify-ın ödənişləri ilə bağlı qeyd etmək istəyirəm ki, tək bu Shopify-da deyil, digər platformalarda da elektron ticarət zamanı ödənişlərin alınması üçün müəyyən problemlər yaranır. Burada əsas problem PayPal-ın Azərbaycanda hazırda aktiv olmamasıdır, bir tərəfli formada işləməsidir. PayPal-da məlumdur ki, artıq Azərbaycanda qurumlara müraciət olunub. Əsas burada Mərkəzi Bankın qərarını gözlənilir və PayPal-ın Azərbaycanda hazırda işləməməsinin başlıca səbəbi qanunsuz pul dövriyyəsinin qarşısının alınmasıdır. Bəzən olur ki, qeyri-legal yollarla əldə olunmuş pullar, çirkli pulların nağdlaşdırılması və dövriyyəsi baxımından müəyyən problemlər qarşılaşılır və bunun qarşısını almaq üçün hüquqverici, qanunverici baza formalaşdırılmalıdır. Hazırda bununla bağlı işlər gedir. Yaxın aylarda hətta deyərdim ki, biz gözləyirik ki, ilin sonuna bu iş həll olunmalıdır. Ola bilər ki, ilin ikinci yarısında bu məsələ artıq öz həllini tapacaq. Buyurun.
Belə, kimin nə sual varsa, Agil Bey, ümid edirəm sizin sualınıza cavab verildi də. Yeni deyirəm, yəni siz öz web sayfənizə dair rəyi öyrənmək istəyirsiniz. Muhammedin e-mailinə yazıb, belə indi qısa olaraq bəlkə sizə nəsə rəy versin. Belə, amma əslində, yəni nəsə bir, yəni məncə orada yəni ümumi bir rəy lazımsa heç bir problem olmaz. Belə, kimin nə sualı varsa, buyurun. Sualınız yoxsa mənim belə bir sualım. Muhammed, if you don't mind, I wanted to clarify for myself a few things. Sure. So you mentioned a software or something called arbitrage. Is it a software or what is it?
Yes.
You mentioned arbitrage software.
Yes, it's like a software plus service. For example, there is one that I use myself, is this one, priceyak.com. Okay, so priceyak.com, you see, that's how they call themselves. Dropship arbitrage on autopilot. They will automate your dropshipping business. So you see here from Amazon, you can list into Shopify and so on. So you can source products from one side and display them on the other side. So this is arbitrage, is that they let you control a listing that is available on a source and then copy all the information, add your margin and display it on eBay, for example. This is what they do, if you see the animation here.
Yeah.
And what they help you also to reprice. You can see here, because sometimes the price in Amazon changes and then you may lose money because now it's more expensive than selling price on eBay. So they help you with the price harmonization, and also they help you with the stock. So if there is no more stock of this product from your identified supplier in Amazon, they take out the listing from eBay. So this way you don't sell something that you do not have in that cannot be fulfilled. So this way you reduce your refunds and all these things. So there are many of these. You can just Google arbitrage solution, arbitrage plugin business, and there are many of them that do for AliExpress, for other Russian marketplaces, which I don't know. There must be some solutions like this that does arbitrage.
Yeah. I did it while you were speaking, and I found it in arbitrage technologies, various websites. So, okay, there is no, so this is a process. There is no specific arbitrage software. So it's a process.
Yeah, arbitrage is a concept, is like a business model. Yeah. So they provide you, it's a software. They offer you a software.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. And one question about the warehouses. Mm-hmm. So in case when you do, just to clarify, maybe I missed it. When you do drop shipping, you don't need a warehouse. You just make sure that goods are delivered from warehouse of, let's say, producer to customer. Am I right?
That's correct. That's exactly what makes the difference between dropshipping and what we call e-commerce is that first you don't have a warehouse, but because you actually don't buy the products. You don't buy the products in advance, so you don't need to store them. Yes, that's the idea.
But when you buy it from, let's say, producer, you as a delivery, you need to indicate the address of your buyer.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And usually this is handled by the software. So either the dropshipping software or your e-commerce software will give to the supplier what to ship and where, and then they will execute the command.
Mm-hmm. So in this case, producer will see that you are a dropshipper.
Yes, actually, before you cannot just advertise products of any supplier. You need to first sign a contract or make sure that they are offering their catalog in dropshipping. Not every supplier does this. So that's why you can Google. There are some websites that will say, we produce fashion and clothes, and we have a dropshipping functionality, or we do dropshipping. So if a supplier say, I do dropshipping, then you know that you can connect with them and do this.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
Kimin nə sualı varsa buyurun. Suallar yoxdursa, onda Ayxan bəy sizə sözü verək. Yəni təlimimizin sonuncu təlimimizdir və yenə də hamımızın adımızı, yəni AzExport'un adından da, ITC'nin adından da mən istərdim belə qısa bir elan kimi eləyim. Yenə də deyirəm, AzExport tərəfindən əlavə olaraq yəqin ki, bu məlumat veriləcək ki, AzExportla bir yerdə biz logistika təliminin də keçirilməsini planlaşdırırıq. Belə, Ayxan bəy, buyurun.
Təşəkkür edirəm, Eldar bəy. Yeah, Muhammed, first of all, let me thank you for your usable training. See you on the next trainings. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Hörmətli təlim iştirakçıları, hamını bir daha salamlayıram. Təşəkkür edirəm ki, bizim təlimlərə qoşuldunuz, dəyərli vaxtınızı ayırdınız. Bizə də xoşdur ki, sizlərlə birlikdə bu təlimləri biz təşkil edirik. Eldar bəy, sizə də təşəkkür edirəm. Çox böyük əməyiniz keçir. Hamı əlindən gələni edir ki, biz müasir texnologiyaların yaratdığı imkanlardan istifadə edərək Azərbaycan sahibkarlarına, gənclərinə bu imkanları təqdim edək. Belə, onu qeyd etmək istəyirəm ki, bu təlim artıq yekunlaşdı. Biz qeyd etmişdik ki, 4 gün olacaq. Əlavə biz 2 gün də əlavə etdik və ümumilikdə 6 gün keçirildi və elanda da bildirdiyimiz kimi 70%-dən yuxarı iştirak göstəricisi olan hər kəsə elektron rəqəmsal sertifikat təqdim olunacaq və bu səfər də sertifikatın üzərində QR kod yerləşdiriləcək və həmin QR kodlar sertifikatların orijinallığını təsdiq edəcək. Bizim daha bir təlimimiz olacaq. Bunun barədə Eldar bəyin bildirdiyi kimi geniş bir elan veriləcək. Bu da yenə Ready to Trade, ticarətə hazır layihəsinin ikinci hissəsidir. Hazırda biz elektron ticarət e-commerce üzrə təlimi keçirdik Ready to Trade tərkibində. Bu növbəti isə e-logistics olacaq və burada da logistika ilə bağlı imkanları biz araşdıracağıq. Belə, detallı məlumatlar bildirdiyimiz kimi veriləcək. Hamıya bir daha təşəkkürümü bildirirəm. Növbəti görüşlərədək. Buyurun Eldar bəy, əlavəniz varsa siz də işləyin.
Çox sağ olun Ayxan bəy. Muhammed, thanks very much.
Thank you everybody.
Çox sağ olsunlar vaxtlarını ayırdıqlarına görə. Çox sağ olun.
Son olaraq icazənizlə onu da qeyd edeyim. Təlimin sertifikatları, nəticələr müəyyən olunduqdan sonra ayın 9-u AzExport portalının Facebook ünvanında paylaşılacaq və bu barədə qrupda da məlumat veriləcək. Sertifikatları oradan yükləyə bilərsiniz ayın 9-u.
Onda çox sağ olun hamı. Sağ olun, necə deyilən görüşlərədək.
Gələn görüşlərədək, bəli. Özünüzdən müğayət olun, möhkəm olun. Biz birlikdə güclüyük. Sağ olun.
Thank you, Muhammed. Take care.
Thank you everybody.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye for now.